player who will take the game by himself
I understand.
rather than make the pass.
And someone here, I think, tried to have a dig at Sterling by saying he's a system player. He is, but Arsenal have a brilliant system. Raheem Sterling, when Raheem Sterling struggles, is when he's at clubs or in teams where the system is poor or got massive holes in it. When Liverpool started to get good under Brendan Rodgers, he thrived. He went to City, he thrived. He went to Chelsea, and listen, you can love him or loathe him, it doesn't matter. What I'm about to say is a fact. Chelsea's system and their team in the last 2 years has been awful. There are some players who can thrive in teams that are not well-oiled. And I think Palmer is exactly one of them. I think Palmer's the type of player, you could almost put him in any team in the Premier League and he would still deliver goals, still deliver assists because he's that type of individuals. There are others, and I think Raheem Sterling fits that mold, where I think he does need to be in a well-oiled machine. But it's, football players are sometimes like cars. If you take a Formula One car, David, you know a lot about them. On a racetrack, are they like the best and fastest cars in the world?
Not quite, but pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much there. But if you put them on a dirt track and tried to take them for a rally race, they ain't winning, are they?
Absolutely hopeless. If you had an F1 race in the winter, and you put it in Britain, the cars would be awful. They just couldn't do it.
There we go. So the point I'm making. Let me just finish the point, Cage. Igal, sorry. The point I'm making is that
they just
certain horses for courses, certain players will benefit elsewhere. So I'm not even saying Sterling's the answer. I'm simply putting, if your reason is I don't want him because he's a system player, that is ill thought out logic. Because if you're Arsenal and you've got a brilliant system, well, Sterling should be perfect for you then.
There's 3 reasons. 1, I don't want another project. I want somebody who's going to come in and raise the levels. Number 2, his wages right now, I think would be an issue, and Chelsea would have to front a large portion of that bill. And number 3, when it comes to what I was saying, it's not necessarily about the system. It's about how the player has been playing and how he's been playing most recently. I think the way that he's been playing, he would cause more disruption to our attack, and he won't be as harmonious. Someone like Trossard, he flows through the game, and yes, sometimes he takes the shot instead of passing. Martinelli does the same thing. Do we want to add another piece to that puzzle that does that has the exact same flaws?
Again, I think you're looking at it in the wrong way.
Can I debunk 3 of those points that you made?
I'm going to go to Giuseppe, then I'll come to you, Ram. Sorry, because Giuseppe had his hand on his head at one point there. I want to know what's going through his head.
No. When Gal said project something, or you said you don't want another project. Sterling's not a project. He's a ready-made player. Comes straight into the team and ups the level. I don't care what for some reason, people now have let's stop using recency biased. Let's please stop that, because that's what's being happened. We've seen how crappy he's been the last bit at Chelsea, in a team that have neglected him, haven't really even played him that much, and have, as a whole, rubbish. Let's forget this season with Maresca, before Maresca, right? They've been rubbish. So we can't use recency bias to fully prosecute this guy and say he's not good because of what he's done at Chelsea. He was quality at Man City. He's a good player. He's a quality player. He's just not really had the team around him. Put him in Arsenal. By the way, once again, the winger we're bringing in, as David Ornstein said, is a backup winger. We're not looking to have a guy that comes in and he is the main guy on the wing. And we need someone in the squad. You're telling me you think Lookman will be better than Sterling? I think you're nuts. I might be the only person that don't really rate Lookman that much. Last time he was in the Prem, he stunk it up. If we want to use that logic that you're using, the last time Lookman was in the Premier League playing for Fulham, he was stinky. That's why he got to move to Atlanta and no one else wanted to touch him. So if we want to use the logic, we're only using recency bias. Oh, because he had a decent season at Atlanta last year and scored a hat-trick in the final. Fair enough. But listen, I personally think
he had back-to-back decent seasons. Let's not act like it was just 1 year.
Yeah, but Sterling's had 5 of those seasons.
But then again,
6 of those.
Atalanta play a different style.
When was the last time Sterling had a good season? Oh, it was 2 years ago at Man City.
When he was with a good team, when he was in a team,
and was good manager,
and was harmonious.
Can we acknowledge he was at Chelsea before Cole Palmer was there? He was at Chelsea before Cole Palmer was there. He was signed as one of the best.
No, but Egal, you're completely missing the context, bro.
1 second. You have to understand this. When you are in a poor team and you're given the keys as the big signing, you play 28 games and you underperform your worst ever season at Man City. That tells me you cannot handle it. If you bring him to Arsenal, and you're telling me he's going to be a bit par player, he's going to be better. He was at a team where he was given the keys and he couldn't even perform.
How many
hang on a minute though, like your current striker that you love.
Yeah, how many seasons?
That was a completely different situation.
How is it different?
Not.
How?
No,
he was meant to be that guy.
How is
he was
it?
meant to be the guy that starts in their midfield for the next 7 or 8 years.
He was Chelsea's record signing. The situation is completely and utterly. I'm not even advocating for you guys to sign him. The logic I've been told so far as to why not to sign him doesn't make sense. Just say I don't think he's good enough. I think he's a bad player, but I think the logic you're using is ill thought out.
1 second. I gave you 3 logical reasons why I don't want him. You could take any of the 3. The wages, if he's going to take a major pay cut, that will be one thing that will make me more ease into the transfer. Number 2, I don't think he's a fit based on the way that he plays. I think the way that he plays, you need somebody. I don't think he's gonna suit the way that we play. He's not gonna make the passes. He's gonna try to be a hero and take the game by the scruff of the neck and do it by himself, and it's gonna be to our detriment.
Again, we got 12 GA last season. Last season in the Premier League, he got 12 GA for that crap Chelsea team last season. So you want to say how bad this season was? 12 GA. You put him in this Arsenal team that creates a lot more. You say you want to smack another 5 GA on that. Bro, 17 GA. That's not bad for a
1 second. Why are we talking about 12 GA like it's something impressive? We have Declan Rice, who's a centre back, getting more than that.
But what I'm trying to say is, you're saying he was god awful. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not saying that's the most amazing stat, but I'm just saying in that rubbish Chelsea team, that didn't really do much.
12 GA is nothing in the grand scheme of things when you're an attacker. That's terrible, actually.
For a crap team, though, Egal.
I'm saying,
if you put him in Arsenal, can I say something? Yeah. If you put him in Arsenal, you don't think he gets more GA than he would if playing at Chelsea?
That's irrelevant. Does he benefit us to win the league? I don't think so.
Yes.
But
he's
you guys are so Giuseppe, you're in the category of people who are so desperate for a signing. You're just saying, Raheem Sterling, let's get him.
No, because I want a striker. I don't even want a winger.
I'm not willing to just take anybody.
Can I give an opinion from?
We were sat here last week talking about Madueke and Mudryk. Now we're here speaking about Sterling. Every week, we just sit here talk about another.
I think it's desperate. I think it's desperate.
We need a striker. Get Jackson. Why don't we get Jackson? That's what we're going to talk about next.
Egal, I think it's desperate from Arsenal fans. Wanting Lookman. I think that looks more.
Lookman. Are you crazy, bro? Do you know what Lookman did last year? Lookman by himself helped win his team the Europa League. Lookman in the league 2 years back to back. You're talking about 12 GA.
Morata helped you go to Champions final.
In the league, in the league,
about GA on 1 second, and then belittle somebody who's 26 years old on a much more reasonable wages, homegrown. Also, I don't even think we're going to sign him. But at this moment in time, I would rather have Adamana Lookman where he is in his stage of football than bring in a friggin' Raheem Sterling.
If you want to use GA, if you want to use GA, last season in the league, Lookman 18 GA. So he got.
What about the season before that?
He got 6. The season before that, he got 16, 17, 19 GA. So if you want to use that logic, he got like 7 GA more than Sterling. And he's in the Serie A. If you want to look at it like that, the Serie A is easier probably to get GA in. Let's be honest. And he was at a crap Chelsea team. I'm not saying you should want Sterling. To me, it doesn't matter. To me, I want a striker. I don't.
You're not going to sign
either
of them, regardless.
I'm just saying Sterling wouldn't be that bad. I think that if we got him, he would prove you wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he'll be, oh my God, this amazing guy or anything like that. I just think that if he comes in, he ain't as bad as what people are making out. Arsenal fans, I believe, just have this PTSD of getting players of Chelsea and then them flopping and the banter of Chelsea.
And I think, Giuseppe, Arsenal fans like yourself at this moment in time are so desperate that they're willing to take.
I'm not that desperate for a signing. I'm the guy that's sitting here saying.
You're saying you want Raheem Sterling. Last week you were talking about.
No, I didn't say I want. I never said I want Raheem Sterling. I said I can see Arsenal getting Raheem Sterling, and I'm giving the reasons why I don't think it would be the worst move ever. I'm not saying I want Raheem Sterling. I want Nico Williams, bro.
Okay, well, let's go. I'm going to go to Henry, and then we're going to go to some of the super chats.
Just on, I get both sides. I think Lookman would be a great signing, but I also, I'm not siding with Giuseppe to go against you, Gal, but I think I agree with Giuseppe more. When you look at when we say about Lookman's Premier League proven, and he had a relatively good season at Leicester, he then went to Leipzig, then he went to Serie A. Sterling is at the age now where he's in his, you could say 28 to 31 is probably prime years. He's 30 in December. He's did unbelievable things at City. I think in the system Arteta plays, Sterling would thrive more than Lookman. The reason I was suggesting Lookman would probably is a more realistic fit is I don't think Sterling covers the striker role as good as Lookman does. However, in a barred environment, in a toxic where Chelsea have had their lowest Premier League ever finish, in that first season, Sterling was one of their standout players. There wasn't really many standout players, but he was one of those. Under Arteta, with the coaching method he's got, with a feel-good factor in the dressing room, everyone thought Havertz would flop. People called him 007. Then it got to November, then he started performing. His first goal might have been a penalty against Sheffield United or whatever it was. Then towards the back end, you saw him really deliver. I think Sterling walks into that Arsenal dressing room with players that he's been at the England camps with, like a Declan Rice. He knows Ben White. He knows the coaches. He knows players from City, Jesus and Zinchenko. I think he walks in there and he does exceptionally well for you guys. I think he has to take a pay cut. The wages are astronomically high, but you're getting a guy that's won 4 league titles walking into your dressing room. Look, I really rate Lookman. I wanted him at Spurs before he even went to Atalanta. I think he's a really, really good forward who can play anywhere along the front line. But I think Sterling, in terms of the way Arteta plays out wide, is better, personally. But Lookman can play striker, so I get both sides. But I personally would sign Sterling out of the two.
What is Sterling's strength? Is it crossing the ball?
Running in behind.
Running in behind, right? So
his movement.
Then you're looking at him. So then you're looking at him as an inside forward on the left or on the right, right?
He'd probably play on the right, yeah, because the left you got Martinelli and Trossard.
Most likely, if you're looking at him as a backup for Saka, I don't think that's a crazy shout. I'm not sitting here saying it's a crazy shout to say Raheem Sterling would be a good backup for Saka. But in my opinion, at this moment in time, with the player where he is in the stage, I don't know if he's going to come to Arsenal, accept a role to sit as a backup. He's going to want to fight He's going to want to fight for his place and start. I don't think he's able to push Saka. I think right now Raheem Sterling's slightly behind.
Yeah, but I think what you've said,
and personality-wise, and the way that he plays, I don't think it fits us. I don't think he's the kind of player.
On personality, the only thing I'm going to shut down is the personality talk. People keep talking about Raheem
Does he work hard off the ball? Does he pass the ball? Hang
on a minute, but that's not personality, is it? That's a football.
That's character on the pitch.
But that's not. But stop talking about his personality. And the reason I'm going to defend Raheem Sterling, and this isn't you, Gal, personally. Raheem Sterling's personality has been butchered by the scummy part of the UK media for a long time, and I think we need to be really careful with the language we speak when it comes to him, because people are ridiculous. But look, we're going to go to some of the super chats on this. Otherwise, we'll go round in circles forever and ever and ever. Done with Chelsea players, keep them away from us, is what TKA says. Sterling is done. You lot are waffling, especially Giuseppe. He also says here that Igal is correct. Keep Sterling away from us. True Blue here says Igal just slated Sterling too much to want him at Arsenal. Slated him too much to want him at Arsenal. Big up the panel, and nice to see Roy Hodgson back on the panel. David, keep the blue flag flying high. Matt here says, can you imagine how many pens we'd get with Raheem Sterling? About 15. Yeah, you might get quite a few pens. But I have DM'd you, Matt, by the way. I need you to have a chat about that title on YouTube, because I mean this with respect. You don't work for the Football Terrace and you're not out there on other channels representing us. So can you get that removed, please? Thank you. And that's not a dig. I don't know what you're going to go on there and say and do, and you're not one of my employees.
It's heated debate, so who knows?
Yeah, I saw it and I'm like, go on any show you want, but I can't have you on there as a representative of the Football Terrace when you don't represent the Football Terrace, brother. With all, and I mean that with pure respect, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It's thank you. Sterling is no better than Trossard. Why sign him? I mean, if he's purely a backup, then that in itself would make sense. What Ornstein had said is he said the winger Arteta and Arsenal really like is Nico Williams, but the player is coveted by everybody. He is on high wages, which will only increase if he moves to the Premier League, is what he's had to say on that matter. Sonny here says Sterling wants to be the main man. Now fell down the pecking order like he did at City. He wants a team with a starting spot, not coming to Arsenal. Plus, he ain't a team player. Better wingers in the market. I mean, Arteta thinks he's a team player. Arteta loves him. Arteta says what a great man, what a great personality, what a great attitude he's got. So the manager that the Arsenal fans that don't want him, the manager that you back and love, thinks differently to you. I'm just putting it out there. Stop forcing it. We don't want or need him. We can get the same output from a younger option that's not past his prime, which is fair. Terry, what about the bet with young Daniel? Yeah, we're going to get him his shirt. I just forgot about it all summer, if I'm being honest with you. So much gathered on. I really, really did. Matt also says, happy with Mikel Moreno. Is done now. The saga was dragging. Props to Edu. I think he deserves a lot of praise this window. By the way, Matt, you are the reason that you've ended up paying the same amount of money. Because yesterday you started bantering Man United for negotiating for 3 weeks for Ugarte and paying the same money. And then bang, 24 hours later, you upset the football gods there. You bantered too early, my friend.